Anura's prophecy hung over us like a dark cloud, infusing our every action with a sense of urgency and foreboding. The village had become more than a site of study. It was now the heart of our mission, the place where we would either uncover the means to protect Elysium or witness its descent into chaos. Dr. Evans and Leora worked tirelessly, decoding the ancient texts and piecing together the Elysian's history. The more they uncovered, the clearer it became that the shadow was not merely a metaphorical threat, but a tangible force that had wreaked havoc in the past. Its origins were still shrouded in mystery, but its impact on Elysian society was evident. One particularly revealing text described a period of rapid technological advancement, during which the Elysians had developed powerful machines and harnessed the energy of the planet itself. This golden age had ended abruptly when the shadow emerged, corrupting their technology and turning their creations against them. The resulting devastation had led to the Great Silence, a collective decision to abandon their advanced ways and live in harmony with Elysium. As we delved deeper into the texts, we found references to a hidden sanctuary, a place where the Elysians had stored their most dangerous technologies and knowledge. It was said to be protected by powerful wards and accessible only to those deemed worthy. The sanctuary, known as the Heart of Elysium, was believed to hold the key to understanding the shadow and possibly defeating it. "Our next step is clear," Captain Reyes declared during one of our meetings. "We need to find the Heart of Elysium. If we can access its knowledge, we might be able to stop the shadow from rising again." Leora nodded in agreement. "The path to the heart is fraught with dangers, both natural and supernatural. But I believe we are destined to make this journey together." The village elders provided us with guidance and blessings, sharing what little they knew about the heart's location. They warned us of the trials we would face, emphasizing that only those with pure intentions could hope to succeed. Armed with this knowledge, we set out into the jungle once more, determined to uncover the heart's secrets. The journey was grueling. We trekked through dense foliage, navigated treacherous terrain, and encountered various creatures that seemed intent on hindering our progress. Each step forward felt like a battle, but we were driven by the knowledge that our mission was crucial to the survival of Elysium. One night, as we made camp by a river, we were attacked by a pack of wild, nocturnal predators. Their eyes glowed eerily in the dark, and their howls sent shivers down our spines. We fought them off with makeshift weapons and sheer determination, sustaining a few injuries in the process. The experience left us shaken but resolute, our bond as a team stronger than ever. As we pressed on, we began to notice strange phenomena. The air grew colder, and an unnatural mist enveloped the jungle. Shadows seemed to move of their own accord, whispering unintelligible words that filled us with dread. It was as if the shadow itself was aware of our presence and sought to deter us. Despite these obstacles, we finally reached a clearing where an ancient stone archway stood, covered in vines and glowing with a faint, ethereal light. This, we knew, was the entrance to the heart of Elysium. The archway was inscribed with symbols similar to those we had seen before, and Leora worked quickly to decipher them. "This is it," she said, her voice filled with awe. "We must enter, but we must do so with pure hearts and clear minds. The heart will test us." Taking a deep breath, we stepped through the archway, one by one. On the other side, we found ourselves in a vast underground chamber, illuminated by bioluminescent plants and crystals. The air was thick with an ancient power, and the walls were lined with intricate carvings that told the story of the Elysians' rise and fall. At the center of the chamber stood a large, crystalline structure, pulsating with a soft, rhythmic light. This, we realized, was the heart of Elysium. As we approached, a voice echoed through the chamber, speaking directly into our minds. "Welcome, seekers of truth. You have come to the heart of Elysium, the repository of our greatest knowledge and our darkest secrets. To access this knowledge, you must prove your worth. Each of you will face a trial, a test of your character and resolve. Only then will the truth be revealed." The voice fell silent, and the chamber seemed to hum with anticipation. We looked at each other, a mix of determination and anxiety in our eyes. There was no turning back now. The trials awaited, and the fate of Elysium hung in the balance. Dr. Evans was the first to step forward, his face set in grim determination. As he approached the heart, a beam of light enveloped him, and he disappeared from view. We could only hope that he would succeed in his trial and that we would all emerge victorious. One by one, we faced our trials. Each experience was deeply personal, a confrontation with our innermost fears and doubts. I found myself standing in a dark, featureless void, confronted by a shadowy figure that mirrored my every move. It whispered my deepest insecurities, challenging my resolve and testing my courage. But I stood firm, drawing strength from my purpose and the knowledge that I was not alone. As I overcame my trial, the void dissolved, and I found myself back in the chamber, surrounded by my comrades. Each of us bore the marks of our trials, but we had emerged stronger and more united. The heart of Elysium pulsed brighter, acknowledging our success. The voice returned, filled with a sense of solemn approval. You have proven your worth. The knowledge you seek is now yours. But beware, for with this knowledge comes great responsibility. The shadow is a powerful force, and only through unity and wisdom can it be overcome. The heart began to reveal its secrets, projecting images and information into our minds. We saw visions of the Elysians past, their technological marvels, and the cataclysmic events that had led to the Great Silence. We learned about the shadow, a malevolent entity that had fed on their ambition and pride, corrupting their creations and nearly destroying their world. Armed with this knowledge, we understood the gravity of our mission. The shadow was not just a relic of the past. It was a present and imminent threat. We had to find a way to confront it and prevent it from consuming Elysium once more. As we left the heart of Elysium, the weight of our responsibility settled upon us. The journey ahead would be fraught with danger, but we were no longer just explorers. We were guardians of a world on the brink of either destruction or renewal. The jungle seemed less foreboding as we made our way back to the village, our spirits buoyed by the knowledge we had gained and the trials we had overcome. The Elysians greeted us with relief and respect, sensing the change in us. We were no longer just visitors, we were allies in their struggle. The final battle with the shadow loomed ever closer, and we knew that we had to prepare for the challenges ahead. The fate of Elysium depended on our courage, our unity, and our ability to wield the knowledge we had been granted. The shadows of the past were rising, but we were ready to face them, determined to protect the future of this remarkable world. Our return to the village was met with a mixture of relief and anticipation. The Elysians sensed the change in us and knew we had gained vital knowledge from the heart of Elysium. Anara, ever wise and perceptive, gathered the villagers to hear our account of what we had learned. As we stood before the assembled Elysians, Dr. Evans took the lead in recounting our journey and the revelations we had uncovered. He spoke of the trials we had faced, the knowledge we had gained, and the imminent threat posed by the shadow. The villagers listened intently, their expressions a mix of fear and determination. We have learned that the shadow is not just a remnant of the past, Dr. Evans concluded. It is a living force that seeks to corrupt and destroy. We must prepare to face it, together. Anara nodded solemnly. The prophecy has spoken of this time. We have always known that the shadow would return, and that we would need allies to confront it. You are those allies, and together, we will protect Elysium. The village sprang into action. Under Anara's guidance, the Elysians began to prepare for the confrontation. They fortified their homes, gathered supplies, and crafted weapons from the natural resources around them. Despite their peaceful nature, they understood the necessity of defending their world. Our team worked alongside the Elysians, sharing our knowledge and expertise. Sarah, with her engineering skills, helped to reinforce the village's defenses. Dr. Carter focused on ensuring that everyone had access to medical supplies and knowledge of basic first aid. Captain Reyes coordinated our efforts, maintaining a clear plan and boosting morale. Leora proved to be an invaluable asset, bridging the gap between our cultures and facilitating communication. She organized training sessions, where we taught the Elysians how to use the tools and techniques we had brought with us. In return, they shared their own knowledge of the land and its secrets, teaching us how to navigate the jungle and use its resources to our advantage. As the days passed, a sense of camaraderie and unity grew among us. We were no longer just scientists and explorers. We were part of a larger community, united by a common purpose. The Elysians' resilience and adaptability inspired us, and we drew strength from their unwavering commitment to protecting their world. One evening, as we gathered around the central fire, Anara shared more of the prophecy. The shadow thrives on fear and division, she explained. It seeks to sow discord and turn us against each other. Our greatest strength lies in our unity and our determination to protect Elysium. Remember this in the days to come. Her words resonated deeply with us. We knew that the battle ahead would not only be fought with weapons and technology, but with our resolve and our ability to stand together against the darkness. As preparations continued, we began to notice subtle changes in the environment. The jungle, once vibrant and teeming with life, seemed to grow quieter, as if holding its breath. Strange phenomena became more frequent. Unnatural shadows flickered at the edges of our vision, and whispers carried on the wind, unintelligible but filled with malice. One night, I awoke to find the village shrouded in an eerie mist. The air was cold, and a sense of dread hung over us like a suffocating blanket. As I stepped outside, I saw others had also awakened, drawn by the same unsettling feeling. Leora approached me, her expression tense. "The shadow is close," she said softly. "We can all feel it." We gathered in the central square, where Anara stood waiting. Her presence was a calming force, and she addressed us with a steady voice. "The time is near. The shadow seeks to intimidate us, to weaken our resolve. But we will not falter. We will face it with courage and unity." Captain Reyes took charge, organizing us into defensive positions around the village. We knew that the final confrontation was imminent, and every moment counted. The villagers took up their positions with determination, ready to defend their home. As dawn approached, the mist began to lift, revealing a sky tinged with an unnatural hue. The jungle was eerily silent, as if the entire world was holding its breath. We stood ready, our hearts pounding with anticipation and fear. Suddenly, the ground trembled, and a low, ominous hum filled the air. Dark shapes emerged from the forest, their forms shifting and indistinct. It was the shadow, manifesting in physical form, a malevolent presence that seemed to absorb the light around it. Captain Reyes raised her voice, rallying us. "Stand strong. Remember what we fight for. For Elysium." The battle began in a flurry of motion and sound. The Elysians fought with a ferocity born of love for their home, using their knowledge of the land to their advantage. Our team used our technology and skills to support them, working together seamlessly. The Shadow's minions were relentless, their forms twisting and changing, making them difficult to fight. But we held our ground, driven by the knowledge that failure was not an option. As the battle raged on, I found myself facing one of the Shadow's creatures. It was a terrifying sight, its body shifting and writhing, eyes glowing with a sinister light. It lunged at me, and I fought back with everything I had, every ounce of training and determination. In the midst of the chaos, I saw Dr. Evans and Leora working together, chanting an incantation they had learned from the ancient texts. They were attempting to seal the shadow, to contain its power and drive it away. Their voices rose above the din of battle, clear and strong. With a final, desperate push, they completed the incantation. A brilliant light erupted from the heart of Elysium, enveloping the shadow and its minions. The darkness recoiled, shrieking in pain and anger, before dissolving into nothingness. The silence that followed was deafening. We stood in the aftermath, bruised and exhausted but victorious. The shadow had been driven back, and Elysium was safe, at least for now. Anara approached us, her eyes filled with gratitude. "You have fulfilled the prophecy," she said softly. "The shadow is defeated, but its threat is never truly gone. We must remain vigilant, always ready to protect our world." We nodded, understanding the gravity of her words. The battle had been won, but the war was far from over. Elysium would always need guardians, people who were willing to stand against the darkness and protect the light. As we looked around the village, at the faces of our friends and allies, we knew that we had found something precious here. Elysium was more than just an alien world. It was a place of beauty, resilience, and hope, and we were honored to be part of its story. The journey had changed us all, binding us together in ways we could never have imagined. We were no longer just explorers and scientists. We were defenders of a world that had welcomed us with open arms. And as we stood on the brink of a new dawn, we knew that our mission was far from over. The future of Elysium lay in our hands, and we were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, united in our resolve to protect this extraordinary world.